Welcome back to Access Anime. I'm Henshin Ikeda, and today I'm doing a walkthrough review of Magi Episode 6. Now, if you remember from last episode, we got to see Ren vs. Ryosa. That was an amazing battle, and we actually get to see Ren's Dajin, which is named Paimon, or Paimon, depending how you want to pronounce it. And Paimon, or Paimon, depending how you pronounce it, is a female Dajin, and a really amazing looker, if you know what I mean. I liked her, plain and simple. Now, sadly, in this episode, Baba is dead. There was a funeral, so that was kind of sad. No offense, anyone dies and there's a funeral in an episode like that, it's a little depressing. Now, at the end of the episode, we see Baba's tribe give Aladdin her staff. They believe Baba wanted him to have it, so they gave it to him. So that was like an aw. But again, that was last episode, and this is a new episode, so let's dive right in. And again, I'll keep my comment and my rating at the end of the clip, so stay tuned. But let's dive right in. Let's get started. We open up this episode with Morgana. Now again, this episode, if I didn't already say it before, which I know I didn't, it's about Morgana. So it's this is all Morgana territory. But again, I digress. We see Morgana, she's in a town, not a town exactly, but little market square, food district, and she's helping out these two girls, Leela and Sasa. Now apparently, she knows these girls. She's known them for a half a year, so that's kind of interesting. And she's now a part of their caravan, which is en route to Baldbad. And who's in Baldbad? Sinbad. So that's where she's going. She's gonna stay with the caravan until she gets to Baldbad, or at least that's what the general plan is. Now we're taken to a different scene, and they're in a new town. Now this new town, or whatever you want to call it, village, it's been attacked by rogues. I always say this wrong. They're rogue thieves, and you see one of the pedestrians tell Morgana that you guys shouldn't stay here. These thieves are still around because we just got sacked by them, and they're probably on the way to Baldbad. There's like a little camping ground there where they're held up at. So that doesn't look good for Morgana going to Baldbad. Nope. Now we're taking kind of to a little small scene where we see a guy walking in this little village or town with, looks like, slaves. So this guy's a slave trader. Now we don't know what his name is, but later on we find out his name is Mr. Fightma. Now I hope I pronounce his name right. He's a slave trader that wears lipstick, and he's a guy, silver hair. I only know one other character, and that's from, that's Midnight from Fairy Tail, that wears like kind of that lipstick. So it doesn't work for him, trust me. But sorry, I digress. I thought it was kind of interesting to see this guy. Now Morgana is a little irritated because remember, she used to be a slave, but she doesn't say anything, and they move on. Now we get to know a little more about Leela, but not Sasa. Apparently Leela, she was saved by Sasa, so Sasa is her benefactor, the woman who saved Leela. Apparently Leela was in the desert and she collapsed, and Sasa was there. Now I should point out, she was with a mysterious little boy. Now, who do we know who is mysterious and a little boy? Aladdin. Now Morgana doesn't know it's Aladdin. She's making this assumption that it's familiar. It might be Aladdin, but she didn't say it. But we know she was thinking it probably. Mysterious little boy, it's Aladdin. Now we're taken to kind of a different scene. We're actually introduced to, well, not really generally introduced to, but we find out that there's a thieves camp, like I already said before, kind of in the middle of Baldbad, on the road to Baldbad, which is where the caravan was heading, and the leader of the caravan tells Morgana, I'm sorry, but we're not going to be going. And then she asks, or should I say, tells him, well, what if those thieves weren't there? Bold of her to say that, but there was no response, but we can already assume that. Guess what? Morgana is going to do something about this, so the caravan can go straight to Baldbad. Now again, we're taken to a different scene, and we see this is where it kind of was obvious what was going to happen. We were introduced to Mr. Fightma, and we already know, guess what? He's a slave trader. It was already obvious. But he's not even a good slave trader, because you know what? He made a deal with those rogue thieves. We don't know really what the deal was, but I'm assuming this is his base, his residence, so they're held up at, and it's on the way to Baldbad. So he's giving him I don't know what the word I'd really go with. He's harboring them. So that's, so he's not really a good guy. And he brings up the fact that, slave traders, thieves, we're one and the same. Yeah, you're scum. Obviously, you're one and the same. Now, moving on, we see Morgana charge right in. She jumps that super high jump she can do right into camp, and no one notices her. And then she has the balls to ask everyone, "Can you guys please leave?" I'm like, okay, she's nice. She said it politely. Can you guys leave? No. Big guy goes right in front of her and says, "What? Make me move. I'm not going anywhere." She beats the crap out of him with one punch. This is go time. This is Morgana hour. Like, let's go frenzy, And all these guys, all these thieves, they get up and they're ready to beat the crap out of her. They pull their swords out. She goes ballistic, kicking everyone's butt. And I'm like, this is Morgana. This is what we came to see. This is perfect. Now, Mr. Fightman, he notices what's going on, and this whole time while they're fighting, Morgana asks all these thieves, "Where's your leader? Where's your leader?" Now, Mr. Fightman asks the rogue thieves, their leader, "You mind if I take her? Can I have her?" Because he notices something. And I hope you're paying attention, because this is what he noticed. He doesn't know Morgana personally, like her name or in general, but her fighting style. What does it remind you of? The rulers from the Dark Continent. That's right. The warriors, the warrior tribe, Finalis. And they are worth a lot of money, apparently, in the slave trade business. So he has to have her. So apparently he's getting ready to attack, but instead of picking up a sword, he uses a crow who has poisoned talons, like the claws of this crow, or this bird in general. They're poisoned, so they scratch her, and she doesn't notice it, but they're still talking, and she goes blurry, so she faints. And the next time we see her, she's in shackles. She's a slave now. Isn't that irony? You were a slave, you were free, and you're a slave again. Yeah, she tries to break out, but these shackles are really strong. Apparently they were made especially for her. I'm just saying that, but because she's a rare, her tribe is rare because they're really strong, I would assume they give her special shackles. Now we're introduced to a new character. Her name is Nadia. I hope I pronounced her name right. Little girl, and she's kind of asking Morgana what's going to happen. Now again, we don't know anything about this little girl, but she says her parents are also slaves there, and she's asking Morgana what's going to happen. And Morgana opens her mouth and tells her the truth. You're going to go to an auction, they're going to strip you, you're going to be sold to someone, then you're going to work as a slave for the rest of your life. I'm like, why would you tell a little girl this? Why? And yet, she's crying, and then Morgana's like, wait, I'll save you. She calms her down. She's like, she literally put her foot in her mouth. So she's trying to correct the situation. She's like, I'll save you. It's okay. I'll be here for you. We're going to do something about this. Now, we're taken to a different scene. We see Leela and Sasa. They're looking for Morgana, and they can't find her. And finally, they find the leader of the caravan, and he's drawing blanks, but we see mercenaries in the background. Now, we don't know what these mercenaries are for, but we can kind of guess that they're probably going to rescue Morgana and everyone else that was, all the other slaves and whatnot. That's the best assumption. Now again, we're taken to a different scene. We see Nadia, and she is sick. This little girl we were just introduced to, she's sick. Not good. And I don't know why Morgana calls for Mr. Fightman, because he's the slave trader, to examine her. Does he have a degree is he a doctor? No. Are all slave traders doctors? No. They treat their slaves like cattle. So I guess he would have a good assumption on how to take care of her. So he, walks in, takes a look at her, and we find out her tongue is swollen, as are her tonsils, so she's no good as a slave. He can't sell her. So instead of, helping her and doing something, Mr. Fightman says, let's feed her to the hyenas. I was like, what? This little girl to the hyenas? You SOB. And Morgana is just like, what? And so we see her, being shackled up, hanged in mid-air. This is Nagia. And all these hyenas are out there trying to eat her. I was like, I do not want to see this girl being ripped to shreds and eaten and killed. I do not want to see this. Now, it's not a flashback, but it's with Morgana. It's like she's dreaming, or she's seeing a mirage or something, but we see Goltez, that guy that died, that was with Jamel. It was like the guy that looks like Jason from Friday the 13th. Goltez appears, like in a dream or something, and is telling Morgana, what are you doing? Step up your game. He's giving her really great advice, like, look how far you've come. You're not a slave anymore, you're free. What are you going to do with yourself now? It's like amazing. This guy, wow. He's saying the right things to her, and somehow, Morgana, she snaps. So, she jumps up midair, goes down, her shackles on her legs break, she's free, she beats the crap out of all these hyenas, just like that. Wow. Now, she does jump up and save Nagia, frees her, and says, I'm here, I'm going to save you. But it's not done. Mr. Fightman, he's a little mad. It's like, it's okay. Guess what? I'm gonna up the ante. Saber-toothed tigers. Launches them. They're going right at Morgana and Nagia, and Morgana puts Nagia to the side, and she breaks. She springs into action, just taking off one saber-toothed tiger after the next, breaking their fangs, beating the crap out of them. Like, wow. Morgana, I didn't think you were capable of this kind of power. She's not even using a weapon. She's not even using any magical power or whatnot. Now, I should point out, she did use some kind of sonic, like a sonic boom with her voice, like waves that came out of her mouth, per se. That was one of the attacks she had, so that was kind of unique. But again, I digress. Let me move on. After they're all dead, all these saber-toothed tigers are gone, she jumps up, and Mr. Fightman is now on his back. And she asks for the keys, and she's like, I'm not a slave. And this guy is scared shitless. Now, again, we see Morgana freeing all the slaves. We hear, I guess, like bodyguards or security guards in the background. I said security guards, but like the jailmen or what you want to call them, mixed with, like, I would assume probably the rogue thieves as well, and they're getting ready to do something, but we don't get to see what they're doing. We just see Morgana freeing everyone up. And what did she find among all the slaves? Aladdin. I was like, this is like a Where is Waldo bit, right? It's like, where is Waldo? It's like, no, where's Aladdin? Where is Aladdin? There he is. Apparently he was knocked out while he was with a caravan or wherever he was at, and I thought it was kind of funny that he ended up here, but only because he was knocked off, when he was caught off guard, was he put in shackles. So when he woke up, he was in shackles. So that was kind of interesting. Now, I should also point out, we have all these guys coming that are, I guess, guards that are going to be coming after all the slaves, but we're taken to a cutscene. We actually see Leela and Sasa. They are, I guess, on horseback or whatever animal they're on, and they're with the mercenaries, and they're actually also with the caravan. They're coming to save them. And I'm like, this is perfect, but you know what? Aladdin is actually here now, and we actually get to see Hugo. He appears, he beats everyone up. So there was really no need for the mercenaries or the caravan. So it's kind of pointless to see those guys come, but everyone's free, no harm, no foul. So everyone's free now. That's generally where we are at in the episode. Now we see Aladdin. He does a little catch up with Sasa, and again we find out he was the mysterious boy that was with Sasa. So now Morgana knows it was Aladdin. Now I also thought this was kind of funny. Aladdin gives Morgana a nickname, Mor, M-O-R. I checked the subtitles, so do not correct me. It's Mor. I don't know if that's the correct way to pronounce it, but her new nickname that Aladdin gives her is Mor. M-O-R. No E, just M-O-R. But again, that's where the episode ends, and they're off to the Bold, I had to pronounce this right, the Bold Bad. They're off to Bold Bad. That's their new location, like I told you. And again, I don't believe they're with the caravan anymore. I think they're just Morgana and Aladdin now, and they're just heading straight to Bold Bad. And who are they going to see? Sinbad, hopefully if he's there. But again, that ends it for the episode. As for my final thoughts, I'm kind of interested to see more of Morgana and what she's capable of, and is Sinbad actually at Boldbad? We don't know. I also want to know a little more about the other Magi we saw in the other episode, like where's he at, and did he actually find more people to become king? Because in order for him to find these king candidates, I would assume they have to finish the dungeons, but that's just me. But again, that ends it for my final thoughts. As for my rating, 4 out of 5. I really don't even have to think about it. 4 out of 5. Only because we saw Morgana, she was kicking butt, we got a little more information, and, Aladdin appeared out of nowhere, But again, we saw Morgana kick butt. That's really all I wanted to see. Where she was at, what she's doing, and we saw Goltez. He did a dream sequence, or something like that. A mirage sequence, I don't know what you want to call it, but he shows up. So did not see that coming, but I love what happened. But again, 4 out of 5. That's my final rating. That is it for my walkthrough review for Magi episode 6. And again, comment down below, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe above, comment as much as you want. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Let me know what you think is going to happen. I would love to hear what you've got to think, what you've got to say. Come on, bring it. I'm here all day, or at least for now. And again, check me out on Twitter. Follow me if you want. I've got one more walkthrough and review to do, but I'll save that for tomorrow. So definitely stay tuned for it tomorrow. But I gotta go, guys. It's been great. Before I go, I gotta say it. You can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.